Justin Johnson. Justin, you want to come over here next to Gloria? This stage is a little short.
Yeah, I can have one of our folks hold it too. What you think?
Up here?
Yeah. You want it down?
One of our family
shot down there?
Yeah. Hey there. Would you mind holding this? Appreciate you. Okay. You ready?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you.
All right, y'all ready?
Mm-hmm.
You ready?
Testing.
Okay.
Speak close to the mic.
Okay. I
state your name.
Justin J. Pearson.
Do solemnly swear.
Do solemnly swear.
As a member of this.
As a member of this.
The 100th.
The 113th. 13th.
General Assembly.
General Assembly.
Of the state of Tennessee.
Of the state of Tennessee.
I will faithfully.
I will faithfully.
Support the Constitution.
Support the Constitution.
Of this state.
Of this state.
And.
Of
the United States.
The United States.
And I do.
And I do.
Solemnly affirm.
Solemnly affirm.
That as a member.
That as a member.
Of this.
Of this.
General Assembly.
General Assembly.
I will.
I will.
In all appointments.
In all appointments.
Vote without favor.
Vote without favor.
Affection.
Affection.
Partiality.
Partiality.
Or prejudice.
Or prejudice.
And that I.
And that I.
Will not.
Propose or assent. Propose or assent.
To any bill.
To any bill.
Vote or resolution.
Vote or resolution.
Which shall appear to me.
Which shall appear to me.
Injurious.
Injurious.
To the people.
To the people.
Or consent.
Or consent.
To any act.
To any act.
Or thing.
Or thing.
Whatever.
Whatever.
That shall have.
That shall have.
A tendency.
A tendency.
To lessen.
To lessen.
Or abridge.
Or abridge.
Their rights.
Their rights.
And privileges.
And privileges.
As declared.
As declared.
By the Constitution.
By the Constitution.
Of this state.
Of this state.
Of Tennessee.
Of Tennessee.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Yeah!
So much.
Appreciate you.
Thank you.
Keep up the good work. Okay.
Time to go clock in. Congratulations. Thank you so much.
We got to sign some paperwork. Then I'll be right back. Hey.
And I'll take these both upstairs. I'll get one back here.
Okay. Sounds good.
So you both have to.
It's hard.
Pepper, yeah. We set it up. Yeah, that's tough. There we go.
Might want to, President Pearson, you might want to not sign on top of one.
Okay.
They might bleed through.
Okay.
Thank you.
Glory to God. Thank you, Judge Bell.
Yeah.
Man. Judge Bell in the house.
Yes.
Okay. And then we sign one more. Okay. Yes, indeed. Happy Resurrection Day. Power to the people. 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 Yes. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Your Honor. Power to the people. I had the opportunity to study in South Africa, and during the era of apartheid, there was this chant. The leader says, Amandla, and the people respond, Uwetu. Power. Power to the people. Everybody's here? Evelyn Deekhouse, William Kinney, Haley Scruggs, Mike Hill, Cynthia Peake, and Catherine Kuntz. Their lives were tragically cut short because of gun violence at the Covenant School in Nashville only a few weeks ago. Now we reel from another mass shooting in Louisville, where even a police officer younger than me is fighting for their life. Gun violence is impacting and hurting every part of our community and all people within our communities, and the solutions that we have offered are not good enough. They are not the ones that can keep us safe and protect us. Unfortunately, the solution offered by the Republican Party in the state of Tennessee was to try and expel us, try and expel our voices, and silence our fight for an end to gun violence. They worked to expel our constituents' representation by subverting our democracy for their mobocracy, where their dollars and their egos rule. But our democracy is powered by people, and people power always wins. They tried to expel this movement for justice, but it cannot be stopped, because I see folks at ages 9 and 12 and 22 and even 92, people who are refusing to be bowed down, bent, or broken, standing up for what is right, getting proximate to those who are suffering, because it is there with those folks who are suffering that the wells of democracy run deepest. As my mother says, what the devil meant for bad, God meant for good. God meant for good. God needed to reignite this movement to end gun violence. God needed to catalyze the conversation about anti-democratic behavior of the Republican Party in the state of Tennessee. God needed to wake us up to the reality of this moment, that we've got a new generation and new ideas and new beliefs in order to guide us into the future. And so what Cameron Sexton meant for bad, God has turned into good. We realize that there are already more mass shootings than days in this country. We realize that the challenges of gun violence and its pervasiveness we see every day. In communities like ours in Memphis and Shelby County, we see this too often, because there's a proliferation of bad and poor policies coming out of this state legislature. They don't realize that these bullets are doing more than hurting just people. They're shattering communities. At the grocery store, on your walks, at the bank. It is the proliferation of guns, the legislation that removed the need to have permits, that have been a disaster for our communities. Our law enforcement, which many people praise, are being forced to go to war when they just are going to work. Kids are told to go to fortresses instead of to go to school and places of learning. We're told to go to church carrying the status quo's thoughts and prayers, while we must be in fear that somebody will walk in with an assault weapon. Because they're in the hands of ordinary citizens, we've got better solutions to these very challenging and troubling problems. And it's about time that we implement those solutions in the state of Tennessee. And we right now are showing Tennessee and the country that there's only one way forward. That the principalities and the wickedness in high places is not the way. That there will be a new building of this building, with the foundation built on love, with pillars of justice rising up, with rafters of courage covering us, with doors that are open to everybody in the state of Tennessee, not just rich somebodies, but everybody, not just straight somebodies, but everybody's, not just Republican somebodies, but everybody. We are showing this state and the country the only way forward. And I got to tell you that good news, we're going to win. I got to tell you, we're going to win.
Yeah.
This has been a difficult legislative session if you watch anything. You've seen bills passed against drag shows. You've seen transgender children lose health care. You've seen talk about retaining third graders from school, disproportionately hurting black and brown children. You've seen some terrible things that have happened, and you might wonder, how is it that we can still in this moment, after we've just been expelled, but we're back? How we can still have courage and hope and faith in this democracy in Tennessee. Well, I believe William Cullen Bryant is right, that truth crushed to earth will rise again. I believe James Russell Lowell is right, because truth forever on the scaffold, wrong forever on the throne. Yet that scaffold sways the future, and behind the dim unknown standeth God within the shadow, keeping watch above his own. Yes, our democracy is not their mobocracy. Mob rule will never defeat people rule. We will never defeat the people's voice. We will never defeat people's First Amendment right to speak for what they know in their heart, their body, and their soul to be right. We will win because we will never quit. And if we never quit, even in a place like Tennessee, we'll see days of justice spring forth. If we never quit, we'll see the governor signing executive orders to expand universal background checks. If we never quit, we'll see a governor named Pilot demanding just legislation for red flag laws. If we never quit, I assure you we will win, because we'll always center the voices of the marginalized. We'll always center the voices of the poor. We'll always center queer folks. We'll always center marginalized folks. We'll always center excluded folks. We'll always move people who've been pushed to the periphery to the center of the conversation to lead the march toward justice. And I know that when young people and older people, when rich people and poor people build Helen McGee's solidarity dividend, justice will roll down like waters and righteousness like an ever-flowing stream. Well, Representative Pearson, how do you know? Because it was just 1 week ago that we sat in the State House on the well of democracy and were persecuted. We're called out of our names. We're talked down to and talked about. We're told we didn't understand democracy. We didn't understand our responsibility. Told we didn't belong here. But today, just a week later, there's resurrection that's been promised to a persecuted people. There's a resurrection that's been promised to a persecuted people. And so for each and every one of us, we've got good news. That resurrection is promised to persecuted people. We've got news of a resurrection of hope, of a resurrection of justice, of a resurrection of faith, even in Tennessee. And I'm so glad to be fighting with you, to be marching with you, because victory is ours. Hallelujah. 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 Power to the people. Power to the people. Power to the people. Power to the people. Keep on fighting. Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
already got a ward press.
My t-shirt says, make America the White House.
No peace.
Oh, you good? I thought you
Yeah. Power to the people!
If you could clear a path out of the way.
Representative Pearson, can you enter through the doors? All together? Okay.
Yeah. So I'd roll it up, roll up your sign.
Behind you.
Excuse me.
It's gonna be like. Sorry. He's going out. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I'm good.
Answer goes this direction. Sorry.
You're a Christian person, you know what it means for the government to attack you. You know what it means to have innocent people who get criminalized because of doing what they know to be right. And as a Christian person who believes in Jesus Christ, this example that we have gone through of a government creating trumped-up charges, a government who only wanted to persecute people who were innocent of speaking justice and truth to power, innocent who said we can't listen to the NRA more than our own people, a government that has decided that it's better to expel voices than to listen to voices. We know the story, that persecution does happen, but always the good news is that resurrection is promised to persecuted people. So for myself and Representative Jones, Representative Johnson, we stand with all of Tennessee that was persecuted to stand and say resurrection is possible because of the people.
What have you learned from the civil rights movement? What are you learning and bringing to this movement now today?
The civil rights movement has provided the necessary echoes for us into this present day. It's because of Fannie Lou Hamer, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.,
civil rights struggle never ended, it evolved. Just like time continues to go forward, the need for different movements continues to go forward because the issues that we are up against, the issues that we are facing continue to evolve. But the civil rights movement is a movement that we must look at and follow the lead on because they have had victory after victory after victory, but no victory is won forever. We have to continue to fight and continue to go against the systems of oppression that always seem to come back.
What do you hope to accomplish today? What's going through your mind when those doors open?
Today, the goal is to serve. That's all I've ever wanted to do, to serve District 86, to lift up the issues of our community, to fight for our community and make sure that our issues like ending gun violence and ending poverty get heard.
How do you feel today?
I feel determined as ever today, hopeful as ever today, inspired as ever today, because the mark of the moral universe is bending toward justice, not because Cameron Sexton had a change of heart, but because the people who represent the communities we come from realize that our hearts are pure, and our issues matter, and our democracy matters, and our democracy cannot ever be destroyed or bargained or bought away because somebody doesn't like what you say.
How important is the day, not just for Tennessee, but for USA? How important is this day?
This is an extraordinary day for our democracy. This is a very important day for American democracy and for Tennessee's democracy. And it's an important day for District 86 to once again have representation in the State House just as they had elected me to do in the first place. Any other questions?
No.
Okay. Let me call Justice Gloria, okay? Thank you all so much.
You ready to go in, sir? Excuse me. Excuse me. Is Ken right inside this door right here?
I just got for you.
Thank you.
Thank you. There was a presser.
the concepts you want to ban and have tried to prohibit being discussed at the college level?
Chairman Reagan.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. To the representative, I believe in God. All else is settled by facts and data.
Representative Jones.
Mr. Speaker, he didn't, that's not an answer. Let's try again. Do you believe that college students are mature enough to handle conversations about systemic racism and the history of oppression in America that you're trying to prohibit under this bill?
Chairman Reagan.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I have addressed your question already, sir.
Representative Jones.
So we're playing not answer, okay. Representative Reagan, what type, you call this the freedom of expression bill, but it's prohibiting concepts from being discussed freely on college campuses, and it's instituting a rogue reporting process where students can report professors for teaching this list of 16, 17 issues. Can you explain the impetus for this bill? What is the origin? What motivated you to write this bill? It seems like it's based off of white fragility, fears of teaching the truth of history. What was your reason for writing this bill?
Chairman Reagan.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. This bill was brought to me by a dean of college education who I worked with in addition to another university also contributed to this bill. That was my motivation, sir.
Representative Jones.
Can you name that person? Who asked you to bring this legislation?
Chairman Reagan.
I would prefer not to, sir. That's between me and the person who brought it to me. If you wish to discuss that in private, I'd be glad to do it.
Representative Jones.
Thank you. Representative Reagan, you grew up at a time where America was segregated. Under this bill, we can't teach that history. So I'm just trying to figure out how will we be honest about our history if you're prohibiting any concepts about America's racist history. It says here we can't talk about any type of unequal system that ascribe character traits, values, moral, ethical codes, privileges onto a certain race. You say that we can't talk about the history of struggle in America. Can you explain how we would talk about these issues and why you're so fearful about even college students discussing them?
Chairman Reagan.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Your assertion is incorrect, sir. It does not prohibit discussing these.
Representative Jones.
Representative Reagan, this is under prohibited concepts. These are things that, according to this bill, under present law, the following concepts are defined as divisive concepts. And under this law, there's a reporting process where students can report professors for teaching these concepts. This sounds like fascism. This sounds like authoritarianism. This does not sound like democracy or freedom. And so again, this bill is very troubling to anybody who believes in constitutional rights and who believes in America's promise of freedom of expression. You are targeting professors and college students from talking about race and from talking about the history of America. I think it is shameful what you're trying to do. And I'm trying to get an answer as to see what is the origin of this bill, but you're being evasive because I don't think that you don't even know what the purpose of this bill is, besides to feed into this racist narrative that you've been promoting all session. And so my question to you,
Representative Jones, that's a personal attack and you're out of order. Please refrain from making those claims when you're on the bill. Thank you. Continue, Representative Jones.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. It is not a personal attack. It's a matter of fact.
Representative Jones, you made a direct comment to the representative accusing him of something. That is a direct attack. I would ask you to refrain from doing that and stick to the bill, please. Representative Jones.
Thank you. Representative Reagan, do you believe that it is racist to prohibit concepts on systemic racism in the history of America?
Chairman Reagan.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Once again, my belief is in God. I settle other things with facts and data. The fact of the matter is, sir, this bill is not racist. It is not unconstitutional.
Representative Jones.
We keep bringing up God, but God says in Isaiah 10, woe to those who pass unjust laws that hurt the poor and rob them of their rights. And so stop using God to justify your bigotry. Stop using God to justify hatred and racism. Stop using God to put
Representative Jones, you are out of order. You're out of order. That's the third time you've accused a member of doing something or being something on the House floor. That's the third. Chairman Reagan, would you like to respond?
No, thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Representative Jones, last chance.
Mr. Speaker, this member has consistently invoked God to justify this unjust, immoral, extreme racist law. I was merely trying to respond because
Thank you, Representative Jones. Representative Pearson.
Thank you, Speaker. This is a deeply concerning bill. because it is continuing a pattern of practice that is harmful to all people. When you begin to attack education and educational institutions that seek to tell the truth about racism, sexism, these other quote-unquote divisive concepts, when you try to control what a person thinks, then you are assuming the role of God rather than allowing the freedom of thought that built American educational institutions. I'll read some of this bill because I've got some folks here from Memphis and folks who are watching who need to see what the Tennessee General Assembly is calling divisive in our time. 1, race or sex is inherently superior or inferior to another race or sex. An individual, by virtue of an individual's race or sex, is inherently privileged, so we can't talk about white privilege. Racist, sexist, or oppressive, whether consciously or subconsciously. Subconsciously, I'm assuming sponsor means we can't talk about biases, which we all have. An individual should be discriminated against or receive adverse treatment because of the individual's race or sex. An individual's moral character is determined by the individual's race or sex. An individual, by virtue of the individual's race or sex, bears responsibility for actions committed in the past by other members of the same race or sex. This is to prevent white folks in particular for being told they had anything to do with enslavement. This is an individual should feel discomfort, guilt, anguish, or another form of psychological distress solely because of the individual's race or sex. A meritocracy which does not exist because a society that committed genocide against Native Americans, enslaved Black African American people for over 250 years cannot be a meritocracy because we didn't all start at the same place. But you will not be able to say a meritocracy is inherently racist or sexist or designed by a particular race or sex to oppress another sex, despite the fact that in the United States of America's Constitution that we all swear an oath on, Black people were considered 3/5 of a person. Only rich white men could vote, not women. But you tell us that those things we wouldn't be able to talk about. The state of the United States is fundamentally or irredeemably racist or sexist, and that's the part I would like to talk about, if you don't mind. And the reason I'll vote against this legislation is actually because I do believe this state, this country is redeemable, but it is not going to be redeemed or resurrected if we allow the status quo to persist that silences different ideas. It will not be redeemed if we do not have the courage to look at ourselves and our institutions in the face and demand that they do better. It will not be redeemed if we operate business as usual and not do the work of justice. America is redeemable. The state of Tennessee is redeemable. But if we do not do the work of repenting through true education, by telling the truth, or as Memphian Ida B. Wells says, shining the light of truth upon our institutions and upon our lived experiences, which has made it much more likely for you to stand there than for me. If we do not tell the truth about our past and our present injustices, the state of Tennessee, the United States of America will not be redeemed. This is the work that we should be committing to, not banning people's ability to think critically about how we got to where we are because we're trying to preserve a status quo that has hurt us. But I've got good news. No matter what you do, people always rise.
Chairman Reagan.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The member's assertions are deceptive and incorrect. However, I'll let it sit at that. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you. Representative Capley.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move previous question.
Previous question called. There was objection. We're on the board. All those in favor of previous question, vote aye when the bell rings. Those opposed, vote no. Has every member voted? Does any member wish to change their vote? Mr. Clerk, take the vote.
Aye, 68, 26 nays.
Previous question prevails. Let the journal reflect Representative Whitson is excused. Chairman Clemens.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I just want to point out the contradiction, Mr. Chairman, that we're having a vote on a bill to limit speech, and we move to...
We're under point of order if you have a point of order question, but you can't make a statement. We're on the voting. Do you have a point of order question? Yes, Chairman Clemens.
My point of order question, Mr. Speaker, is if we're going to vote on a bill that limits speech and ideas and the teaching of those ideas, why are we cutting off debate on that very bill?
Mr. Clerk, can you read the House rules on previous question, please?
Mr. Speaker, the previous question shall only be admitted when demanded by 2/3 of the members present and may be applied to the main motion, the main question and amendment, the main question and amendment to the amendment. If the question prevails on the main motion, its effect shall be to preclude all future amendments and terminate all debate.
Chairman Clemens, you have a question on that?
My question is, why are we going to allow that on such an important issue of debate in this House of Representatives? And why are we allowing people to call the question when debate is necessary?
Chairman Clemens, you understand the House rules that if someone calls for previous question, that's a non-debatable motion that goes to the board for previous question. That's what happens when someone calls previous question. You have a question on that? Chairman Clemens.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The complaint I'm hearing is that that was not debate. That is a direct result of a 5-minute rule that limits debate.
Chairman Clemens,
when we need
once again, you're off. If someone calls previous question, that the rule that has been in place in this House prevails. It's never changed. It's always been the rule that it has. Anybody at any time can call previous question if they do it in the proper manner, as we have done many times on the House floor. There was a list of people to have questions, but if anybody at that point calls previous question, then the clerk puts the vote up if there's objection. It didn't have anything to do with any time limits or anything like that. It was based on the next person on the list who was going to talk, and they chose to call previous question. Chairman Clemens.
I would urge caution among this body about walking any further off this cliff on issues of such importance. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Representative McKenzie, point of order.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Speaker. And my point of order is this: I don't know if this bill is properly before us. There's a $3.2 million fiscal note that I've not seen come through Finance Committee. So is this bill properly before us?
Mr. Clerk?
Mr. Speaker, the fiscal memo on the amendment states that the bill as amended is not significant.
Representative McKenzie?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear the tail end. I apologize.
Mr. Clerk?
Mr. Speaker, the fiscal memo that was issued on the amendment is not significant.
Representative McKenzie? Representative McKenzie? Representative McKenzie?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I would like to understand how any bill where the contents of the bill did not change. There's everything in the bill was in the bill before with a $3.2 million fiscal note, and how a simple amendment takes that fiscal note to zero. I'm trying to understand how that bill can be properly before us.
It's properly before us because the Senate amendment says it's not significant. And that's a job of fiscal review, which we all know makes determinations on all pieces of legislation, on all amendments that are filed that do put fiscal notes on it, positive or negative. Sometimes it puts not significant, sometimes it says other impacts. But in this case, this amendment from fiscal review says not significant. Representative McKenzie.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Just so a point of clarification on that, to be clear, is there any verbiage change from the Senate's version of the bill to the House bill?
Representative McKenzie, we are under point of order. We are about ready to vote on the bill, so that unfortunately can't be addressed. If you have a point of order, Representative Parkinson.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, my point of order is, would it be out of order to make a motion that we suspend the rules, that rule regarding the calling of the question? No, I'm asking about a rule, sir.
Mr. Clerk.
Mr. Speaker, since previous question has prevailed on this particular bill, you cannot make a motion to suspend the rules at this time.
Representative Parkinson.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And Mr. Speaker, when would be the proper time to make the motion to suspend the rules in regards to calling point of order? I mean, regards to calling
previous question.
Previous question.
Mr. Clerk.
Mr. Speaker, it would depend on how the proper time would be before previous questions called if you wanted to try to suspend the rules for the previous question rule on a particular bill.
Representative Parkinson.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and thank you to our clerk. But I'm looking at suspending the rules for the duration of the session on calling previous questions. When is the proper time to do that, so that we're not in this same space over and over again?
Mr. Clerk.
Mr. Speaker, something that would apply to the rest of session, similar to what's traditionally known as the flow motion, is usually taken up under unfinished business.
Representative Parkinson.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Representative Hardaway.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I've got a parliamentary inquiry.
Yes, sir.
Very simple. Isn't this how we got here in the first place?
That's a statement. You have a question for the Mr. Clerk? Representative Hardaway.
It's a question, sir. It's to you.
We're under point of order. You said you had a parliamentary question or procedure. That is not under that. Representative Hardaway.
Thank you, Speaker. I thought that we had some discussions about how debates would proceed and we would be a deliberative body. I thought that that's something that in fact, I thought I heard you say, and I'm trying to see if this is a violation of that. That's my inquiry.
Mr. Clerk,
So, thank you.
Can you read the previous question rule again for Representative Hardaway, please?
Mr. Speaker, the previous question shall only be admitted when demanded by 2/3 of the members present. It may be applied to the main motion, the main question, the amendment, or the main question, amendment to the amendment. If the question prevails on the main motion, its effect shall be to preclude all future amendments and terminate all debate.
Representative Johnson.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. So my question is, according to Article 2, Section 27 of the Constitution, we are allowed to have our dissent recorded into the record, especially when we feel that something is a policy is injurious to the people. So will I be allowed to do that right now, according to our Constitution?
Mr. Clerk. Mr. Clerk.
Mr. Speaker, I will read that section of the Constitution. Any member of either house of the General Assembly shall have liberty to dissent from and protest against any act or resolve which he may think injurious to the public or to any individual, and to have the reason for this dissent entered on the journals. If the member wishes to submit a statement to the journal, they may. Similarly, our House rules state that if a member wants to put a reason for their vote into the journal, that will also be done. But an oral explanation of a member's vote is not permitted.
Representative Johnson.
Thank you.
Leader Lambert.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And point of order, Clerk, is that Rule 30 explanation of vote, and does it read as such? Any member may have written into the journal an explanation of such member's vote on any particular motion, resolution, or bill by presenting to the clerk an appropriate explanation in typewritten form. However, an oral explanation is not a matter of privilege and should not be allowed from the floor. Is that the appropriate rule?
Mr. Clerk.
Mr. Speaker, that's correct.
Representative Jones.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Once again, the House is out of order, and we're not deliberating and properly discussing.
Representative Jones, do you have a question for the clerk under procedural or parliamentary? Instead of making a statement, you would have to address your question to the clerk. Representative Jones.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Yes, my question to the clerk is, Mr. Clerk, if a member introduces legislation and cannot even talk about it, cannot even defend their position, should they be a member in this chamber? If they can't even defend their legislation.
Jones, once again, that is not what we're on. It's parliamentary question, procedural question. If you would like to ask one of those two types of questions to the clerk about the rules or the Constitution, as the other representative did, that is fine. Representative Jones.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Clerk, is there a process to ensure that minority voice is heard in this chamber? The Speaker, is it not the Speaker's discretion to call who can be called next in line, and it's the Speaker's discretion to call a member of his own party to call the question, or to call a member of the minority party? Isn't it up to the discretion of the Speaker to allow the minority party to speak? Is there a process by which our voice can be heard?
Mr. Clerk.
Mr. Speaker, the Speaker keeps a list of members as they request to speak. The Speaker goes through that list. If someone on that list makes a motion, for example, previous question, and that prevails, then that's where the body is.
Representative Jones.
Mr. Clerk, is it the Speaker's discretion to keep a list of members of the minority party to be heard before calling a member of his own party who will call the question? That's what we've seen all session. So is it not the Speaker's discretion to keep a list of the minority voices who should be heard on this bill and who deserve to be heard for our districts? Is it not the discretion of Cameron Sexton to determine the order of calling people to speak?
Mr. Clerk.
Mr. Speaker, duties of members towards the Speaker. No member shall be recognized by the Speaker unless the member addresses the chair from such member's desk. In all cases, the member who shall rise first shall be entitled to speak first, But when two or more members shall rise at the same time, the speaker shall name the member who shall speak first. That is what our rules say.
Representative Jones.
Mr. Speaker, I implore you to bring order back to this House. If we can present a list of names of people who want to speak on a bill that is this substantial, banning racism in schools, teaching about racism in schools, can we have a process with you, Mr. Speaker?
Representative Jones, no one submitted a list of any names of anybody, first of all. Second of all, we do call on the members who do raise their hands, and we put them in the order that they raise their hands. Sometimes people delay raising their hands and other people get ahead of them. That's the way it happens, unfortunately, sometimes. Representative Leatherwood was wanting to be recognized.
Yes, sir, Mr. Speaker and Mr. Clerk. Going back to a previous question to the clerk, I was wondering, would the amendment from the Senate that rewrites this whole bill and it removes the requirement for certain reporting and it removes the requirement that certain mentoring takes place, couldn't this logically reduce the fiscal note to being not significant?
I got you. I got y'all. I got you. Representative Leatherwood, that's not a question that can be asked, but I think you take that under advisement with the finance chair if you'd like to have that question with her. All right. Looks like that's it. We're all voting. All those in favor of Senate Bill 817, vote aye when the bell rings. Those opposed, vote no. Has every member voted? Does any member wish to change their vote? Barrett, aye. Mr. Clerk, take the vote.
73, 25 nays.
Senate Bill 817, having received a constitutional majority, I hereby declare passed without objection. The most reconsidered table. Call up next bill, Mr. Clerk.
House Bill 514 by Chairman Terry relative to medical cannabis. Mr. Speaker, the Senate bill is on the desk.
Chairman Terry, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move to substitute and conform to Senate Bill 329.
Chairman Terry moves to substitute and conform Senate Bill 329, probably seconded without objection. So ordered. Chairman Terry.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move passage of Senate Bill 329 on third and final consideration.
Chairman Terry moves passage of Senate Bill 329 on third and final consideration. Probably seconded. Mr. Clerk, call First Amendment.
House Health Committee Amendment number 1, Mr. Speaker, the same as Senate Amendment number 1.
Vice Chairman Leatherwood, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. This amendment is the same as the Senate amendment and move to withdraw.
Without objection, amendment number 1 withdrawn. Next amendment, Mr. Clerk.
Mr. Speaker, no further amendments.
Chairman Terry, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. This bill will allow for a qualifying patient to serve on the Cannabis Commission. I renew my motion.
Chairman Terry renews this motion. Let the journal reflect Representative McKenzie is excused. Any discussion on the bill? Representative Dixie.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. To the sponsor, there's currently already a cannabis commission, correct?
Chairman Terry.
That is correct.
Representative Dixie.
Has there been any actionable items that has come from this commission since it's been established that we've taken on any kind of legislation here in the House?
Chairman Terry.
Thank you for the question. They have put forth some recommendations, and we've reviewed those and some bills that have come through based off some of those recommendations. I don't remember which bills that we've debated, but they have put forth some recommendations.
Representative Dixie.
All right. Other thing is, how can we know when they meet? Where is it posted, or how can we find out when the commission meets?
Chairman Terry.
Thank you. I can get that to you from my office.
Representative Dixie.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Seeing none, any objection to the question? Seeing none. All those in favor of Senate Bill 329, vote aye when the bell rings. All those opposed, vote no. Has every member voted? Does any member wish to change their vote? Barrett, aye. McCalman, aye. Hazelwood, aye. Rudder, aye. Powell's, aye. Mr. Clerk, take the vote.
Ayes 84, 8 nays.
Senate Bill 329, having received a constitutional majority, I hereby declare passed without objection. The most reconsidered statement. Call the next bill, Mr. Clerk.
House Bill 940 by Representative Alexander and others relative to children. Mr. Speaker, the Senate bill is on the desk.
Representative Alexander, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move to substitute and conform to SB 0722.
Representative Alexander moves substitute and conform Senate Bill 722, probably second without objection. So ordered. Representative Alexander.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move passage of Senate Bill 0722 on third and final consideration.
Representative Alexander moves passage of Senate Bill 722 on third and final consideration. Probably second. Mr. Clerk, call First Amendment.
House Civil Justice Committee Amendment number 1. Mr. Speaker, same as Senate Amendment number 1.
Chairman Farmer, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Move to withdraw.
Without objection, amendment number 1 withdrawn. Next amendment, Mr. Clerk.
Mr. Speaker, no further amendments.
Representative Alexander, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. This bill, which is Abrams law, requires all judges involved in child custody proceedings to complete at least 2 hours per year or 10 hours per 5 years of training and continuing education courses on domestic violence and child abuse. Requires the Administrative Office of the Courts to offer training and education courses either virtually or in person in conjunction with the annual meetings of the judicial conferences. It will be effective as of January 1, 2024. This bill just allows the judges to be experienced and educated on how to recognize abusive parents so we don't put children back in harm's way. That is my motion, sir, and I renew it.
Representative Alexander renews her motion. Any discussion on the bill? Seeing none. Any objection to the question? Seeing none. We're voting. All those in favor of Senate Bill 722 vote aye when the bell rings. Those opposed vote no. As every member casts a vote, does any member wish to change their vote? Mr. Clerk, please take the vote.
Ayes 96, no nays.
Senate Bill 722, having received a constitutional majority, I hereby declare passed without objection. The most reconsidered statement. We'll call the next bill, Mr. Clerk.
House Bill 944 by Representative Alexander relative to abuse. Mr. Speaker, the Senate bill is on the desk.
Representative Alexander, you are recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move to substitute and conform to Senate Bill 979.
Representative Alexander moves substitute and conform Senate Bill 979, probably seconded without objection. So ordered. Representative Alexander.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move passage of Senate Bill 979 on third and final consideration.
Representative Alexander moves passage of Senate Bill 979 on third and final consideration. Probably seconded. Ms. Clerk, call First Amendment.
House Civil Justice Committee Amendment number 1. Mr. Speaker, same as Senate Amendment number 1.
Chairman Farmer, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Move to withdraw.
Without objection, amendment number 1 withdrawn. Next amendment, Mr. Clerk.
Mr. Speaker, no further amendments.
Representative Alexander, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. This bill is a financial abuse bill. It explains the definition of abuse when referencing domestic abuse or the Tennessee Adult Protection Act to include financial abuse as part of it. Clarifies that a person is not considered abused or neglected if they intentionally and willfully consent to engage in a religious method of healing in accordance with a recognized religious belief in lieu of medical treatment. I renew my motion.
Representative Alexander renews her motion. Any discussion on the bill? Seeing none. Any objection to the question? Seeing none. All those in favor of Senate Bill 979 vote aye when the bell rings. Those opposed vote no. Has every member cast their vote? Does any member wish to change their vote? Mr. Clerk, take the vote.
Ayes 94, no nays.
Senate Bill 979 having received a constitutional majority, I hereby declare passed without objection. The most reconsidered is tabled. Call the next bill, Mr. Clerk.
House Bill 379 by Representative Beck and others relative to protective services.
Representative Beck, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I move passage of House Bill 379 on third and final consideration.
Stand back.
Mr. Speaker, I renew my motion for House Bill 379 on third and final consideration.
Call the First Amendment, Mr. Clerk.
House Commerce Committee Amendment number 1.
Chairman Vaughn, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The amendment rewrites the bill, so we're going to move to adopt and defer to our sponsor for the explanation.
Chairman Vaughn moves adoption amendment number 1, properly seconded. Any discussion on the amendment? Seeing none, all those in favor of amendment number 1 say aye. Aye. All those opposed say no. The ayes have it. You adopted. Next amendment, Mr. Clerk.
Mr. Speaker, no further amendments.
Representative Beck, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Last year, this House passed Dallas's law to protect our citizens and our visitors. This bill will change 3 things in that law. Dollywood and some of the private universities that have ABC license have asked us to make it where their security guards can carry pepper spray. Second, this makes a delineation between contracted security guards and employee security guards. Number 3, it makes clear that from hospitality that hotels and other employees that make security sweeps are not considered to be security guards. And with that explanation, I renew my motion.
Representative Beck renews his motion. Any discussion on the bill? Seeing none. Any objection to the question? Seeing none. All those in favor of House Bill 379 as amended vote aye when the bell rings. Those opposed vote no. Has every member voted? Has any member wish to change their vote? Mr. Clerk, take the vote.
Ayes 86, 2 nays.
House Bill 379 having received a constitutional majority, I hereby declare it passed without objection. The motion reconsider is tabled. Next bill, Mr. Clerk.
House Bill 987 by Representative Beck relative to judges. Mr. Speaker, the Senate bill is on the desk.
Representative Beck, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move to substitute and conform to Senate Bill 944.
Representative Beck moves to substitute and conform to Senate Bill 944, properly seconded without objection. So ordered. Representative Beck.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. This bill simply requires the Board of Judicial Conduct to notify the complainant of the results of their findings and gives the complainant 14 days to appeal to the Supreme Court. And with that, Mr. Speaker, I renew my motion.
Representative Beck moves passage of Senate Bill 944 on third and final consideration. Properly seconded. Mr. Clerk, call it first amendment.
House Civil Justice Committee Amendment number 1, Mr. Speaker, it's the same as Senate Amendment number 1.
Chairman Farmer, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Move to withdraw.
Without objection, amendment number 1 withdrawn. Next amendment, Mr. Clerk.
Mr. Speaker, no further amendments.
Representative Beck, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I got ahead of myself. The explanation is that this bill allows mandates that the Judicial Conduct Board informs the complainant of their decisions and gives the complainant a right to appeal. And with that, Mr. Speaker, I renew my motion.
Representative Beck renews his motion. Any discussion on the bill? Seeing none, any objection to the question? Seeing none. All those in favor of Senate Bill 944 vote aye when the bell rings. Those opposed vote no. As every member casts a vote, does any member wish to change their vote? Mr. Clerk, take the vote.
Ayes 88, 4 nays.
Senate Bill 944 having received a constitutional majority, I hereby declare it passed without objection. The most reconsider is tabled. Call up next bill, Mr. Clerk.
House Bill 647 by Representative Baum and others relative to medical records.
Representative Baum, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move passage of House Bill 647 on third and final consideration.
Representative Baum moves passage. Properly seconded. Mr. Clerk, call it first amendment.
House Health Committee Amendment number 1.
Chairman Terry, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Move to adopt.
Chairman Terry moves adoption amendment number 1. Properly seconded. Any discussion on the amendment? Seeing none, all those in favor of amendment number 1 say aye. Aye. All those opposed say no. The ayes have it. You adopt. Next amendment, Mr. Clerk. Representative Baum.
Mr. Speaker, I would like to have this bill re-referred to the Health Committee.
Without objection, re-referred to the Health Committee. Call next bill, Mr. Clerk.
House Bill 1088 by Representative Baum, relative to the Tennessee Investment and Student Achievement Act.
Representative Baum, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move passage of House Bill 1088 on third and final consideration.
Representative Baum moves passage. Following second. Mr. Clerk, call it first amendment.
House Education Administration Committee Amendment number 1.
Chairman White, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The amendment rewrites the bill, so I move to adopt and defer to the sponsor for explanation.
Chairman White moves adoption of amendment number 1. Probably seconded. Any discussion on the amendment? Seeing none, all those in favor of amendment number 1 say aye. Aye. All those opposed say no. The ayes have it. You adopted. Next amendment, Mr. Clerk.
Mr. Speaker, no further amendments.
Representative Baum, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. In our state's TISA funding formula, we offer an infrastructure stipend to LEAs that have grown by at least 2% in each of the past 3 years. The Department of Education and I are concerned that COVID may have affected the growth rate during some of those years, and so this bill provides LEAs a second way to become eligible for these infrastructure stipends. It does this by considering growth in 3 years that were not affected by COVID. It eliminates 2 academic years that we believe were most impacted by COVID. I renew my motion.
Representative Baum renews his motion. Any discussion on the bill? Chairman Clemens, you're recognized.
First of all, Representative Baum, I just want to say thank you. Second of all, this bill, which I support, I just want to encourage our colleagues to take a look at the real need for infrastructure investment by the state of Tennessee, not only to this degree, but to the others, because what we have seen is a lot of fixed costs associated with the policies pulling money out of our traditional public schools into other private entities. And we need to do a better job as a state of Tennessee investing and covering those costs like we're constitutionally required to do for our traditional public schools in Tennessee. So again, I just want to say publicly, thank you, and thank you for this legislation.
Representative Baum, you're recognized.
Thank you. Appreciate your comments.
Any further discussion? Seeing none, any objection to the question? Seeing none, all those in favor of House Bill 1088 as amended, vote aye when the bell rings. Those opposed, vote no. Has every member voted? Does any member wish to change their vote? Mr. Clerk, take the vote.
Ayes 95, no nays.
House Bill 1088, having received a constitutional majority, I hereby declare passed without objection. The most reconsidered is tabled. Call up next bill, Mr. Clerk.
House Bill 24 by Representative Freeman and others, relative to sexual assault evidence collection kits. Mr. Speaker, the Senate bill is on the desk.
Representative Freeman, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move to substitute conform to Senate Bill 0014.
Representative Freeman moves substitute conform to Senate Bill 14, probably seconded without objection. So ordered. Representative Freeman.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move passage of Senate Bill 0014 on third and final consideration.
Representative Freeman moves passage of Senate Bill 14 on third and final consideration. Probably second. Mr. Clerk, call it first amendment.
House Criminal Justice Committee Amendment number 1. Mr. Speaker, it's the same as Senate Amendment number 1.
Chairman Halsey, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. This amendment's in the Senate bill. Therefore, I move to withdraw House Criminal Justice Committee Amendment 1.
Without objection, amendment number 1 withdrawn. Next amendment, Mr. Clerk.
Mr. Speaker, no further amendments.
Representative Freeman, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. This bill requires the TBI to provide quarterly updates on the Bureau's efforts to hire and train employees within the Forensic Services Division. It also encourages them to get us to a time where we can get all these kits tested within 60 days of receipt. And with that, I renew my motion.
Representative Freeman renews his motion. Any discussion on the bill? Seeing none, any objection to the question? Seeing none, all those in favor of Senate Bill 14 vote aye. When the bell rings, those opposed vote no. Has every member cast their vote? Does any member wish to change their vote? Mr. Clerk, take the vote.
Ayes 95, no nays.
Senate Bill 14, having received a constitutional majority, I hereby declare passed without objection. The most reconsidered is tabled. Call up next bill, Mr. Clerk.
House Bill 685 by Representative Freeman, relative to highway safety.
Representative Freeman, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move passage of House Bill 685 on third and final consideration.
Representative Freeman moves passage. Properly seconded. Mr. Clerk, call it First Amendment.
House Transportation Committee Amendment number 1.
Chairman Howell, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. This amendment rewrites the bill. Move to adopt and to defer to the sponsor to explain.
Chairman Howell moves adoption of amendment number 1. Properly seconded. Any discussion on the amendment? Seeing none. All those in favor of amendment number 1 say aye, aye. All those opposed say no. The ayes have it. You adopted. Next amendment, Mr. Clerk.
House Transportation Committee Amendment number 2.
Chairman Howell, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Move to adopt.
Chairman Howell moves adoption of amendment number 2. Properly seconded. Any discussion on the amendment? Seeing none. All those in favor of amendment number 2 say aye, aye. All those opposed say no. The ayes have it. You adopted. Next amendment, Mr. Clerk.
Mr. Speaker, no further amendment.
Representative Freeman, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. This bill requires the Tennessee Department of Transportation to identify locations around the state and local government roads where injuries to bicyclists and pedestrians are elevated in comparison to the statewide average. And with that, I renew my motion.
Representative Freeman renews his motion. Any discussion on the bill? Seeing none. Any objection to the question? Seeing none. All those in favor of House Bill 685 as amended, vote aye when the bell rings. Those opposed, vote no. Has every member voted? Does any member wish to change their vote? Mr. Clerk, please take the vote.
Ayes 81, 11 nays, 1 present, not voting.
House Bill 685 having received a constitutional majority, I hereby declare it passed without objection. Most read series table. Call the next bill, Mr. Clerk.
House Bill 686 by Representative Freeman and others relative to victim advocates communications. Mr. Speaker, the Senate bill is on the desk.
Representative Freeman, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move to substitute conform to Senate Bill 1205.
Representative Freeman moves substitute conform to Senate Bill 1205, properly seconded without objection. So ordered. Representative Freeman.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move passage of Senate Bill 1205 on third and final consideration.
Representative Freeman moves passage of Senate Bill 1205 on third and final consideration, properly seconded. Mr. Clerk, call it First Amendment.
House Criminal Justice Committee Amendment number 1. Mr. Speaker, it's the same as Senate Amendment number 1.
Chairman Halsey, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. This amendment's in the Senate bill. Therefore, I move to withdraw House Criminal Justice Committee Amendment 1.
Without objection, amendment number 1 withdrawn. Next amendment, Mr. Clerk.
Mr. Speaker, no further amendments.
Representative Freeman, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. This bill would prohibit advocates from being examined in judicial, legislative, or administrative proceedings regarding any communications between the advocate and the victim unless disclosure is required by law or otherwise authorized in the section. And with that, I renew my motion.
Representative Freeman renews his motion. Any discussion on the bill? Seeing none. Any objection to the question? Seeing none. All those in favor of Senate Bill 1205, vote aye when the bell rings. Those opposed, vote no. As every member voted, as any member wish to change their vote? Sabiki, aye. Mr. Clerk, take the vote.
Ayes 91, no nays, 1 present, not voting.
Senate Bill 1205, having received a constitutional majority, I hereby declare passed without objection. Most read series table. Call it next bill, Mr. Clerk.
House Bill 897 by Chairman Hurt relative to K-12 education. Mr. Speaker, the Senate bill is on the desk.
Chairman Hurt, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move to substitute and conform to Senate Bill 1070.
Chairman Hurt moves to substitute and conform to Senate Bill 1070, probably seconded without objection. So ordered. Chairman Hurt.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move passage of Senate Bill 1070 on third and final consideration.
Chairman Hurt moves passage of Senate Bill 1070 on third and final consideration, probably seconded. Mr. Clerk, call it First Amendment.
House Education Administration Committee Amendment number 1. Mr. Speaker, it's the same as Senate Amendment number 1.
Chairman White, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Same as Senate amendment. Move to withdraw.
Without objection, amendment number 1 withdrawn. Next amendment, Mr. Clerk.
Mr. Speaker, no further amendments.
Chairman Hurt, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. This bill addresses the problem of the shortage of PE teachers in elementary schools, and it is permissive. It allows a director of schools or a charter school to request the Commissioner of Education to issue an endorsement exemption to a licensed teacher to teach PE in an elementary school. The endorsement exemption would be valid only until June 30th following the date it was granted. The director must certify the Commissioner that they are unable to find a qualified teacher, and the Commissioner has complete discretion over whether they grant an exemption. And with that, Mr. Speaker, I renew my motion.
Chairman Hurt renews his motion. Any discussion on the bill? Seeing none, any objection to the question? Seeing none. All those in favor of Senate Bill 1070, vote aye when the bell rings. Those opposed, vote no. Has every member cast their vote? Does any member wish to change their vote? Camper, aye. Mr. Clerk, take the vote.
Ayes 91, no nays.
Senate Bill 1070 having received a constitutional majority, hereby declare passed without objection. The motion to reconsider is tabled. Call the next bill, Mr. Clerk.
House Bill 962 by Representative Slater and others relative to secondary education. Mr. Speaker, the Senate bill is on the desk.
Representative Slater, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move to substitute and conform to Senate Bill 838.
Representative Slater moves to substitute and conform Senate Bill 838, probably seconded without objection. So ordered. Representative Slater.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move passage of Senate Bill 838 on third and final consideration.
Representative Slater moves passage of Senate Bill 838 on third and final consideration, probably seconded. Mr. Clerk, call it First Amendment.
House Education Administration Committee Amendment number 1. Mr. Speaker, same as Senate Amendment number 1.
Chairman White, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The same as the Senate amendment. Move to withdraw.
Without objection, amendment number 1 withdrawn. Next amendment, Mr. Clerk.
Mr. Speaker, no further amendments.
Representative Slater, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The purpose of this bill is to create a high school equivalent to the CLEP test used in post-secondary education. If this bill is passed, it will allow high school students to demonstrate proficiency on an exam in certain subjects and receive credit for the course. I renew my motion.
Representative Slater renews his motion. Any discussion on the bill? Seeing none. Any objection to the question? Seeing none. All those in favor of Senate Bill 838 vote aye when the bell rings. Those opposed vote no. Has every member voted? Does any member wish to change their vote? Freeman, aye. Cochran, aye. Mr. Clerk, please take the vote.
Ayes 95, no nays.
Senate Bill 838, having received a constitutional majority, I hereby declare passed without objection. Most reconsider table. Call the next bill, Mr. Clerk.
House Bill 995 by Representative Stevens relative to corporal punishment for students with disabilities. Mr. Speaker, Senate bill is on the desk.
Representative Stevens, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move to substitute and conform to Senate Bill 972.
Representative Stevens moves to substitute and conform to Senate Bill 972, probably second without objection. So ordered. Representative Stevens.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move passage of Senate Bill 972 on third and final consideration.
Representative Stevens moves passage of Senate Bill 972 on third and final consideration, probably second. Mr. Clerk, call it First Amendment.
House Education Administration Committee Amendment number 1. Mr. Speaker, it's the same as Senate Amendment number 1.
Chairman White, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Same as Senate amendment. Move to withdraw.
Without objection, amendment number 1 withdrawn. Next amendment, Mr. Clerk.
Mr. Speaker, no further amendments.
Representative Stevens, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. This bill comes from the Tennessee Disability Coalition to help ensure that students with disabilities are not falling through the cracks and receiving corporal punishment for behavior that manifests as a result of their disabilities. The bill puts a procedure in place to consider screening children for disabilities before corporal punishment is used, and that includes parental involvement. If the student does have a disability, then the corporal punishment could still be used if the parents opt in, which is current law. The bill does not prohibit corporal punishment. The bill does not take away an LEA's ability to make its own rules about corporal punishment. It does help ensure that students with disabilities are not falling through the cracks. So with this explanation, Mr. Speaker, I renew my motion.
Representative Stevens renews the motion. Representative Sapicki, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Just a quick question. A year or two ago, this body passed the Teachers Discipline Act that gives the teacher the ability to permanently remove an unruly or disruptive student from the classroom. I've read the bill. I don't believe it does, but I don't think anything in your bill overwrites that previous bill. Is that correct?
Representative Stevens.
That is my understanding.
Chairman Sapicki.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Representative Powell.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. So this is an issue that I've been working on. I really appreciate the sponsors legislation, continuing to work on this. Several years ago, studies found that students with disabilities were actually subjected to corporal punishment at a much higher rate than other students. And I want you to think about that. Students with disabilities were subjected to corporal punishment at higher rates than normal students. That can set back those students tremendously. And, you know, we are working as a state when it's important that we support all students, especially those students with disabilities, and subjecting them to corporal punishment can have multiple negative consequences. And so this is an important piece of legislation, and I appreciate it. I'm happy to sign on. I'd ask all my colleagues to vote for the bill. Thank you.
Thank you. Representative Stevens.
Thank you. I renew my motion, Mr. Speaker.
Representative Stevens renews his motion. Any further discussion? Seeing none, any objection to the question? Seeing none, we're voting. All those in favor of Senate Bill 972, vote aye when the bell rings. All those opposed, vote no. Has every member cast a vote? Does any member wish to change their vote? Mr. Clerk, please take the vote.
Ayes 90, no nays.
Senate Bill 972 having received a constitutional majority, I hereby declare passed by objection. Most reconsidered is tabled. Call the next bill, Mr. Clerk.
House Bill 273 by Chairman Terry, relative to health. Mr. Speaker, the Senate bill is on the desk.
Chairman Terry, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move to substitute and conform to Senate Bill 221.
Chairman Terry moves to substitute and form Senate Bill 221, probably second without objection. So ordered. Chairman Terry.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move passage of Senate Bill 221 on third and final consideration.
Chairman Terry moves passage of Senate Bill 221 on third and final consideration, probably second. Mr. Clerk, call it First Amendment.
House Health Committee Amendment number 1.
Vice Chairman Leatherwood, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. This amendment rewrites the bill, and I move to adopt and defer to the sponsor for further explanation.
Vice Chairman Leatherwood moves adoption of amendment number 1, probably seconded. Any discussion on the amendment? Seeing none, all those in favor of adopting amendment number 1 say aye. Aye. All those opposed say no. The ayes have it. You adopted. Next amendment, Mr. Clerk.
Mr. Speaker, no further amendments.
Chairman Terry, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. This bill allows for the Board of Medical Examiners to have input on their medical consultant. With that, I renew my motion.
Chairman Terry renews his motion. Any discussion on the bill? Seeing none, any objection to the question? Seeing none, all those in favor of Senate Bill 221 as amended vote aye when the bell rings. Those opposed vote no. As every member casts a vote, does any member wish to change their vote? Mr. Clerk, please take the vote.
Ayes 87, 2 nays.
Senate Bill 221 having received a constitutional majority, hereby declared passed by objection. Most reconsidered is tabled. Call the next bill, Mr. Clerk.
House Bill 616 by Representative Travis, relative to vehicles that haul logs or pulpwood. Mr. Speaker, the Senate bill is on the desk.
Representative Travis, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move to substitute and conform to Senate Bill 1357.
Representative Travis moves substitute and form Senate Bill 1357, probably second without objection. So ordered. Representative Travis.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move passage of Senate Bill 1357 on third and final consideration.
Representative Travis moves passage of Senate Bill 1357 on third and final consideration, probably second. Mr. Clerk, call it First Amendment.
House Transportation Committee Amendment number 1. Mr. Speaker, same as Senate Amendment number 1.
Chairman Howell, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Same as the Senate amendment. Move to withdraw.
Without objection, amendment number 1 withdrawn. Next amendment, Mr. Clerk.
Mr. Speaker, no further amendments.
Representative Travis, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And the House, I would say something that shortly after 7 a.m. on the morning of November the 10th, 2021, Grace Mitchell, 17, collided with the rear of a logging truck on State Highway 111. The collision resulted in Grace's untimely death. So we've brought this bill today. And I've worked with Sequatchie County High School. And this is what the bill says. It has been amended to say, requires a motor vehicle of trailered transporting a load of logs or pulpwood that protrudes at least 4 feet beyond the end of the body or the bed of the motor vehicle or a trailer to have the following secure affixed to the end of the projected, it's been amended. This says that the trailer will have amended strobe or blinking lights and 2 red or fluorescent orange flags affixed to the end of the project load as that trailer is loaded. With that, I renew my motion.
Representative Travis renews his motion. Any discussion on the bill? Seeing none, any objection to the question? Seeing none, all those in favor of Senate Bill 1357 vote aye when the bell rings. All those opposed vote no. Has every member voted? Does any member wish to change their vote? Camper, aye. Mr. Clerk, please take the vote.
Ayes 85, 2 nays, 3 present, not voting.
Senate Bill 1357 having received a constitutional majority, I hereby declare passed by objection. Most reconsidered is tabled. Call the next bill, Mr. Clerk.
House Bill 619 by Representative Travis, relative to the Department of Children's Services.
Representative Travis, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move passage of House Bill 0619 on third and final consideration.
Representative Travis moves passage. Public second. Mr. Clerk, call it First Amendment.
House Civil Justice Committee Amendment number 1.
Chairman Farmer, you're recognized.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Speaker. This amendment rewrites the bill. Defer to the sponsor for further explanation. Move to adopt.
Chairman Farmer moves adoption of amendment number 1. Probably second. Any discussion on the amendment? Seeing none. All those in favor of amendment number 1 say aye. Aye. All those opposed say no. The ayes have it. You adopted. Next amendment, Mr. Clerk.
Mr. Speaker, no further amendments.
Representative Travis, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. This bill says the commissioner of DCS shall notify the committing court at least 15 days prior to the proposed discharge of a child. With that, I renew my motion.
Representative Travis renews his motion. Any discussion on the bill? Seeing none. Any objection to the question? Seeing none. All those in favor of House Bill 619 as amended, vote aye when the bell rings. All those opposed, vote no. As every member voted, does any member wish to change their vote? Mr. Clerk, please take the vote.
Ayes 92, no nays.
House Bill 619, having received a constitutional majority, I hereby declare it passed by objection. Most reconsider table. Call the next bill, Mr. Clerk.
House Bill 1109 by Representative Travis and others relative to custodial interference. Mr. Speaker, the Senate bill is on the desk.
Representative Travis, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move to substitute and conform to Senate Bill 1319.
Representative Travis moves to substitute form Senate Bill 1319 without objection. So ordered. Representative Travis.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move passage of Senate Bill 1319 on third and final consideration.
Representative Travis moves passage of Senate Bill 1319 on third and final consideration. By second, Mr. Clerk, call it First Amendment.
Mr. Speaker, no amendments filed.
Representative Travis, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. This bill adds the offense of the custodian interference of hiding of a child within or outside the state, knowing that the child has been placed in the custody of the Department of Children's Services pursuant to a protective custody order or an emergency custody order entered by a court. With that, I renew my motion.
Representative Travis renews his motion. Any discussion on the bill? Seeing none. Any objection to the question? Seeing none. All those in favor of Senate Bill 1319 vote aye when the bell rings. All those opposed vote no. As every member casts their vote, same member which change their vote. Capley, no. Sapicki, aye. Mr. Clerk, please take the vote.
Ayes 74, 17 nays.
Senate Bill 1319 and received constitutional majority. I hereby declare passed by objection. Most reconsider is tabled. Let the journal reflect Representatives Johnson, Burkhart, Glenn, and Gillespie are excused. Call the next bill, Mr. Clerk.
House Joint Resolution 120 by Representative Darby, a resolution to honor the memories of Chance Black and Zachary Grooms and request that TWRA to direct a marker to memorialize the lives of these two outstanding young men.
Representative Darby, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move adoption of HJR 0120.
Representative Darby moves adoption. Probably second. Mr. Clerk, call it First Amendment.
Mr. Speaker, House State Government Committee Amendment number 1.
Chairman Keisling, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. We'll defer to the sponsor for further explanations. We move to adopt.
Chairman Keisling moves adoption of amendment number 1. Probably seconded. Any discussion on the amendment? Seeing none. All those in favor of amendment number 1 say aye. Aye. All those opposed say no. The ayes have it. You adopted. Next amendment, Mr. Clerk.
Mr. Speaker, no further amendments.
Representative Darby, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Members, I hate to be in front of you all today. I've requested the TWRA erect a marker at Manus Swamp Refuge in Weakley County in remembrance of Zach Grooms and Chance Black. Speaker.
Representative Darby.
Yes, sir. I'm probably out of order here.
Okay.
But I would like this body to honor the families of Zach and Chance Black. We got the family of the Blacks there, Mark and April, and their son Cody, and the parents of Zach Grooms, Ricky and Tina Grooms, and his brother Petey and Andrea Grooms. Thank y'all.
Thank you. Representative Darby.
And Mr. Speaker, could I ask the clerk to read the resolution?
Mr. Clerk.
House Joint Resolution 120 by Representative Darby, a resolution to honor the memories of Chance Black and Zachary Grooms and request that TWRA direct a marker to memorialize the lives of these two outstanding young men. Whereas on the morning of January 25th, 2021, Chance Black and Zachary Grooms were senselessly murdered at Reelfoot Lake in Obion County, and whereas the two sportsmen were hunting during the final week of Tennessee's duck season when the tragic event occurred, and whereas born on May 5th, 1995, Zachary Paul Grooms grew up in Greenfield in the Shafter community, a graduate of Bethel University, where he played on the baseball team and archery teams. He worked as a watermelon farm manager and had aspirations to become a police officer. And whereas Chance Lee Black was born on May 2nd, 1994, to Mark and April Black of Greenfield, a passionate hunter and fisherman who worked in the gun department at Final Flight Outfitters in Union City and planned to pursue a career in law enforcement as a state trooper. And whereas dearly loved by their family and friends, Zachary Grooms and Chance Black leave behind an indelible legacy of integrity and probity in public life, compassion and loyalty in private life. and diligence and dedication in all their chosen endeavors. And whereas the members of this General Assembly are proud to honor the brief yet well-lived lives of these two young men, now therefore be resolved by the House of Representatives of the 113th General Assembly of the State of Tennessee, the Senate concurring, that we honor the memories of Zachary Grooms and Chance Black, reflecting fondly upon their impeccable character and their stalwart commitment to living the examined life with courage and conviction. Be it further resolved that we request the Tennessee Wildlife Resource Agency to erect a marker at Manna Swamp Refuge in Weakley County in remembrance of the lives of these two outstanding young sportsmen, Zachary Grooms and Chance Black.
Representative Darby, you recognize.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and I renew my motion.
Representative Darby renews his motion. Any discussion on the bill? Seeing none, any objection to the question? Seeing none, all those in favor of House Joint Resolution 120 as amended vote aye when the bell rings. Those opposed vote no. Has every member voted? Does any member wish to change their vote? Mr. Clerk, please take the vote.
Ayes 92, no nays.
House Joint Resolution 120, having received a constitutional majority, I hereby declare adopted without objection. The most for considered table. Call the next bill, Mr. Clerk.
Mr. Speaker, that completes the regular calendar.
Next order, Mr. Clerk.
Unfinished business.
Representative Hicks, you're recognized. Of Washington. All right.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move to place SJR 174 in the next available space on the next available regular calendar. Thank you.
Without objection, so ordered. Mr. Clerk.
Mr. Speaker, we have some messages from the Senate. Mr. Speaker, I'm directed to return to the House Bill 1002, substitute for the Senate bill on the same subject committee and passed by the Senate.
Monday's message calendar, Mr. Clerk.
Mr. Speaker, I'm directed to return to the House Bill 1225, substitute for the Senate bill on the same subject committee and passed by the Senate.
Monday's message calendar. Leader Lamberth.
Members, I have a very important announcement that I think you'll all be interested in. On Monday, the flow motion will be presented to you for your consideration. So the end is nigh. We have much work yet to do. But at this time of the year, for our new members in the chamber, the flow motion does suspend certain rules that will be on your desk for you to analyze and debate and to vote on. But it is basically allows for bills to move through committees at somewhat of a more rapid pace so that we can, at some juncture in the future, get the budget on the House floor, the budget documents, any other bills that need to be passed this year. Again, much is still under consideration, but wanted to give you a heads up that the flow motion does anticipate we will have that on your desk for consideration on Monday. Thank you very much.
Next order, Mr. Clerk.
Announcements.
Announcements. Representative Parkinson.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I was actually trying to speak on unfinished business, actually. But I guess we can talk about announcements. Members, the Seersucker Caucus will convene on next Thursday. Next Thursday, the Seersucker Caucus will convene. Thank you.
Thank you. Representative Hammer.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. We have a Davidson County delegation meeting today in 8D. We'll do it immediately after session. We'll have the ECD commissioner as our guest. Thank you.
Thank you. Representative Hicks of Hawkins.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And members, if I can have your attention just for a second about a schedule change for next week. Just so you know, Finance, Ways, and Means Subcommittee, we will meet on Tuesday, April the 18th at 9 a.m. in House Hearing Room 1. So again, that's Tuesday in House Hearing Room 1 at 9 a.m. Thank you.
Thank you. Speaker Pro Tem Marsh.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Members, your 2023 Statement of Interest is due April the 15th. This disclosure is filed with the Tennessee Ethics Commission. If you have any questions or problems, see Doug Himes. Thank you.
Thank you. Representative Boyd.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Members, if you weren't a part of the General Assembly, a couple of years ago, we moved the Tennessee State Fair to the Wilson County Fairgrounds and merged it with the Wilson County Fair. And we have allocated some funds over the last couple of years for buildings. And one of those buildings, we're having a grand opening on Monday. It's the Made in Tennessee building. I would like to invite each of you to come. It's going to be at 1 p.m. and it's in Lebanon at the fairgrounds, just right off of exit 239. And if you're planning to come, if you want to maybe email me or shoot me a text, there may be some of us gathering for lunch before. So I hope you can make it. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you. Chair Lady Hazelwood.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Full Finance will be meeting on Tuesday immediately following Finance.
Leader Camper.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, members, I don't see him in the chamber, but I just want to take this moment to welcome Representative Justin Pearson back to the House of Representatives. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Any further announcements? Representative Dixie.
I didn't get a chance to do this under welcome and honoring, but with the Jack and Jill of America Corporation, some of the students served as pages today. So can you just give them a hand for serving us and helping us today?
Any further announcements? Mr. Clerk has an announcement.
Mr. Speaker, the Delayed Bills Committee will meet immediately following session in the Speaker's conference room. That's the Delayed Bills Committee, the Speaker's conference room immediately after session.
Next order. Oh, hang on. Representative Hardaway.
Thank you, Speaker. Can you explain what that Late Bills Committee is all about, who's on it, and how it operates?
Mr. Clerk.
Mr. Speaker, for bills that were filed after the bill filing deadline, those bills are referred to the Delayed Bills Committee pursuant to Rule 77. And that is, the committee is laid out by rule. It takes a unanimous consent of the majority leader, the minority leader, and the speaker for that bill to come out of Delayed Bills Committee and be introduced.
Next order, Mr. Clerk.
Roll call.
Roll call.
Testing. Can you hear me? Okay.
A little more.
You got me?
Thank you. Okay, we got Omar. Hey, Omar. Yes, to being back in the House with the people in the gallery from District 86 was remarkable and powerful, and a strong display that the issues matter and people who advocate for justice matter. The restoration of representation for District 86 walk back in the House. The fight to end gun violence walk back into the House. The movement that can never die or be expelled walk back into the House. And I am glad that there were representatives like Representative Jones and Representative Johnson to greet us when we walked in.
Second question, sir.
Yes, you need two things. You need a people-powered movement guided by folks who see a different vision than the status quo, and you need people who have been empowered by constituents.
Check 1, 2.
Okay, can you hear me? Okay, very good. Is something wrong?
Increase the volume.
Okay. Okay, leave that alone. Okay. My friends, I might be able to yell better. Hello? Okay. No, I heard a little bit. Okay, there you go. Can y'all hear all right? Yep. Yeah. Can y'all hear? Okay. I think it's fading.
Give me a megaphone. Give me a megaphone.
One's right here.
You got it. Megaphone?
Yeah.
Okay.
Anybody going live right now? The news stations must be freaking out.
Just a second. Scan cable. One second. Just sorry. Representative, would you like to give me the question again in a moment?
Yes,
okay.
And I'll be ready.
Everybody good?
Everybody good? Okay. Very good.
And just the question again was how do you sustain this movement, and what do you need? How much support do you need from other legislators and government officials, locally, statewide? What support do you need to make sure that is sustained?
Yeah, we have to have a people-powered movement that's guided by the issue of morality, about the right to everybody to feel safe and to live in communities that are safe, and not with people, ordinary people, having weapons of war. And so I believe a people-powered movement with that faith and with that level of consciousness is part of what we need. And we need people who have been empowered by those of us who vote and our constituents in these communities to do their job, which the community has said is to do something. And so that's to pass the just legislation that we put forward. That's to debate the just legislation that we put forward, and to make sure that we actually do make communities safe. And so, yes, we need Speaker Cameron Sexton and the Republican Party leadership to take this issue seriously, as millions of people in Tennessee and across our country are asking for them to do.
MLK 50, third question.
Hey, Andrea.
So what does this movement, sort of amplify for you in terms of what Memphis has to say here in Nashville?
Yes, Memphis, Millington, District 86, and Shelby County has a whole lot to say to the folks in Nashville, which is that we will not be bought. We will not be disenfranchised. We will not allow the system to continue to do us harm without responding. And so I believe our reappointment is one acknowledgement of that, but it also is something powerful that over 1,000 people marched yesterday, that there's a movement that is building in Memphis, that is burgeoning in Memphis, that is saying that the status quo is not working for us.
The status quo and the people who are supporting and propping up the status quo are not working for us. And so we are going to fight to change that. And that's why this movement is going to continue to be sustained by young people. It's going to continue to be sustained in an intergenerational way, in a multiracial way that should give us all hope and courage to continue to fight.
Do we have a fourth question? Yes, sir.
Got a follow-up here. For your critics in the public, the general public, how do you get them on board with this? What do you want to say to them?
For anyone who is critical of a people-powered movement that is seeking to end gun violence, that is seeking to bring people from the periphery into the center of the conversation, that's seeking to lift up poor folks and the voices of communities that are disenfranchised and that have been marginalized, I say to you, join this movement. We need your dissent too. We need your ideas too. We need your opinions too. This movement's for everybody. Nobody's out. Everybody's in. And so for anybody who's a critic, you are not. You're a consultant. Welcome to the movement. I have no expectation that the Republican Party of Tennessee has had a change of heart. What I think they've had is a change of realization. That the people in Tennessee don't want the things, don't want things to remain the same. The people in the state of Tennessee don't want things to remain the same, and yet they are clinging on to this past Tennessee. But there's a new Tennessee that is being born, and they're going to have to get ready for it, and they're going to have to respond to it. We just saw moments ago they've passed legislation that makes it nearly illegal to teach about racism or sexism in higher educational institutions. This is not democracy. This is not the type of state or the state of being we want to live in. And the majority of Tennesseans are with us. Now, are we going to win today? That bill passed, unfortunately. But if we stay with our hands on the plow, if we keep our voices raised on the issues, if we keep marching and keep protesting and keep organizing and keep mobilizing, realizing that we are not in the fight alone. Myself, Representative Johnson, Representative Jones, do not stand alone. We stand with people, millions of people, in fact. And I believe ultimately that is what is going to help us to be victorious, so that days like this, where we ban talking about racism in educational institutions, are no more.
Are there any other questions?
Yeah, sure.
Just
what do you think of the reaction that, the global reaction to what happened to you three? Has that emboldened you? What happens to make you think that change is possible?
This has emboldened the conversation about the need to end gun violence. This has emboldened people to realize that we have a say and a stake in democracy. This was anti-democratic and egregious over-abuse of power and authority by the majority Republican Party in the Tennessee State Legislature. This is not the behavior you expect in a democracy that idealizes debate. What we have realized and what this moment has started, and I think all of us are reignited in everybody, is that we care about our principles of government. We care about our First Amendment rights. And all around the globe, people are seeing this overreach of disenfranchisement and are saying this is not the way that things should be. And that is the power of this moment for all of us. And the reason everybody in the United States of America, everybody who cares about democracy, has had a stake in what has happened to our 200,000 constituents with the disenfranchisement that happened to myself and Representative Jones. No, thank you. Anything else?
Thank y'all so much.
Okay, thank y'all so much. Power to the people. Power to the people. Thank you. If you want to take a picture, come up here. I want to make sure we get a picture individually. I know we just took one collectively, but I love y'all and I appreciate y'all with my whole heart. And on behalf of our entire family, appreciate your support and your love and your sacrifice of time and energy to get on that bus, to come all the way down here and to fight alongside us. Not just one time, but some of y'all been here 3-4 times. And to the organizers who marched for our lives, who made this opportunity possible, created this space. I really do appreciate y'all. And we're going to continue to fight and organize and mobilize in a way that sustains this movement. The movement lives. The movement lives.
this.